The day the sky turned dark was the day everything changed for humans. It was not a storm or an eclipse. It was ships, huge alien ships that blocked the sun as they entered Earth's orbit. Captain John Miller stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, the newest and most powerful ship in Earth's small fleet. His hands gripped the edge of the command console as he looked at the main screen. The alien ships were at least 20 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," said Communications Officer Greg Russell. His voice was steady, but Miller could see the sweat on his forehead. "Put it through," Miller ordered. The message played in 100 Earth languages at once. It was simple and cold. "Your planet is now under the control of the Galactic Council. Surrender all military assets and prepare for integration. Resistance will result in planetary sterilization. You have 24 Earth hours to comply." Miller looked around at his crew. They had trained for many things, but not for this. Not for the end of human independence. "Sir, what do we do?" asked First Officer Linda Brown. Her dark eyes were worried but determined. "We fight," Miller said. "Contact all Earth Defense Forces. We need to buy time." The next 12 hours were chaos. Earth's governments argued and panicked. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to launch every nuclear weapon they had. In the middle of it all, the UES Defiance and its 5 sister ships positioned themselves between Earth and the alien armada. "Captain, I've been studying their energy readings," said Lisa Carter, the ship's weapons officer. Before joining the military, she had been a top physicist at MIT. "There's something odd about their shield patterns." Miller moved to her station. "What kind of odd?" Carter pointed to the screen showing energy wave patterns. "Their shields pulse at regular intervals. Every 3.7 seconds there's a tiny drop in power. It's less than half a second, but it's there." "Can we use that?" Miller asked. Carter nodded slowly. "Maybe. If we time our attacks perfectly, we might be able to slip missiles through during that split-second weakness." Miller called an emergency meeting with the captains of the other Earth ships. They had 11 hours left before the aliens' deadline. "It's a long shot," said Captain Kevin Lewis of the UES Courage. "Even if we time it right, their armor is probably still stronger than anything we can throw at them." "We need to hit them with everything at exactly the same moment," Miller said. "If we can damage even one of their ships, it might make them think twice." The plan was simple but needed perfect timing. All 6 Earth ships would fire their main weapons at exactly the same moment, targeting the same spot on the lead alien ship, just as its shields had their brief weakness. As they prepared, Miller received a call from Admiral Diane Wilson at Earth Command. "Captain, some of the larger nations are considering surrender," she said. Her face on the screen looked tired but resolute. "They think it's the only way to save lives." "Ask them for 6 more hours, Admiral," Miller said. "We have a plan." The Earth ships moved into position. They were tiny compared to the alien vessels. "All weapons charged and ready," reported Lisa Carter. "I've synchronized our firing systems with the pulse pattern of their shields." Miller took a deep breath. "Send this message to all Earth ships. Remember everything we are. Remember everything we could be. Today we fight not just for our lives, but for our right to live them as we choose." The bridge was silent as Carter counted down. "Shield weakness in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now." All 6 Earth ships fired at once. The combined energy beams and missiles streaked toward the same spot on the lead alien ship. For a terrible second, it seemed like nothing happened. Then, a bright flash erupted where they had hit. "Direct hit," Carter shouted. "Their forward section is damaged." On the main screen, they could see a gash in the huge alien vessel, sparks and debris floating out into space. But the victory was short-lived. The alien ships began to power up their main weapons. "Evasive maneuvers," Miller ordered. "Prepare for counterattack." What they didn't expect was what happened next. Instead of firing, the alien ships began to move. Not toward Earth, but away from it. "Sir, they're retreating." Greg Russell sounded disbelieving. Miller watched as the huge ships turned slowly and began to accelerate away from Earth. "Sir, I'm picking up transmissions from the alien fleet," Russell said. They're sending a message back to their homeworld. Russell worked on the translation. When he finally looked up, his face was pale. They're saying we're too dangerous, that humans have unexpected tactical abilities and concerning adaptability. They're recommending that the Galactic Council mark Earth as a high-threat zone and reconsider their approach. A cheer went up from the crew, but Miller raised his hand for quiet. Record everything they're saying, and keep tracking them until they're out of our solar system. 2 days later, the alien fleet jumped to faster than light speed and disappeared from all sensors. Earth had won its first interstellar battle, but Miller knew it wouldn't be the last encounter. Back on Earth, Admiral Wilson called an emergency meeting of the United Nations. "We got lucky," she said, looking at the room full of world leaders. "They underestimated us. Next time they won't make that mistake. We need to prepare. We need to unite." For the first time in human history, the nations of Earth agreed on one thing. They needed to be ready for the aliens' return. Old enemies became allies. Scientists shared secrets. Military forces began to train together. Admiral Wilson stood in her office, looking at the stars through her window. "Begin Project Sentinel," she told her staff. "The next time they come, we'll be ready." In space, Captain Miller and the UES Defiance began patrol duty around Earth. As he looked at his home planet, he thought about how close they had come to losing everything, and he made a silent promise to be ready when the aliens returned, because they would return. And next time, Earth would do more than surprise them. Next time, Earth would win. 5 years went by. Earth was not the same planet anymore. The nations that once fought each other now worked together. Everyone had one goal: be ready when the aliens came back. Alan Foster climbed the ladder to the top level of Defense Station 12, high above Earth. His orange spacesuit was hot and his face was covered in sweat. This was the 12th defense platform they had built this year alone. "How's it looking, Chief?" asked Karen Hughes through the radio. She was his assistant and one of the best engineers from Australia. "Almost done," Alan said as he connected the last power cable. "Let's run the tests." Karen activated the station's main systems from the control room. The huge platform hummed as its core powered up. The weapon systems came online one by one. These were not just human weapons. They had been built using ideas from the damaged alien ship they had captured 5 years ago. Power levels stable. Weapons ready. Shield generator operating at 98%. Karen reported. "That's another one ready to protect Earth." Alan looked down at the blue planet below. 12 platforms now circled Earth like a ring of guards. Each one could shoot down ships 5 times bigger than anything humans had before. But Alan knew they needed more. "Good work, everyone," he said to his team. "Let's head home. Tomorrow, we start on number 13. Deep under the Rocky Mountains in North America, Dr. Sam Baker stared at his computer screen. For 5 years, he had been studying the alien navigation system they had recovered. Today, he finally cracked its code. "Olivia, come see this," he called to his research partner, Dr. Olivia Green. Olivia hurried over. On the screen was a map of the galaxy with thousands of stars, but some were marked with special symbols. "What am I looking at?" she asked, pushing her glasses up. "This," Sam pointed to a small area at the edge of the map, "is us, Earth. And all these other marked places are worlds that belong to what they call the Galactic Council." Olivia leaned closer. "How many alien species are in this council?" 37. "Different species," Sam said. "And look where Earth is located." He zoomed in on the map. "We're right at the edge of their territory. They probably thought we would be easy to take over." "We proved them wrong," Olivia said with a smile. "What else does the system tell us?" "It shows their travel routes, their main worlds, even some of their colony planets," Sam explained. "We can see where they came from and where they might come from next time." Olivia picked up the phone to call Admiral Wilson. She needs to see this right away. In orbit around Mars, the red planet, Commander Eric Hall floated through the corridors of humanity's first real starship. The UES Valiant was almost complete. It was huge, 3 times bigger than any spaceship humans had built before. And it wasn't alone. Next to it, workers in spacesuits were building two more ships, the UES Intrepid and UES Dauntless. "Be careful with those sensor arrays," Eric called to the workers as he made his way to the bridge. "They need to be aligned perfectly." A small camera drone followed him, recording everything for a documentary about Earth's new fleet. The man behind the camera asked, "What's the purpose of these ships, Commander? Are they just for fighting?" Eric shook his head. "These ships are built for more than war. They have our best weapons, yes, but they also have laboratories, diplomatic rooms, and exploration equipment. We're not just preparing to fight. We're preparing to explore the stars and meet other species. On our terms." Back on Earth at the new Space Defense Academy in what used to be West Point, Lieutenant Patricia Morgan watched her students train. They were running through combat simulations based on what they knew about the aliens who had attacked Earth. "Move faster, Johnson," she shouted at a young cadet who was too slow to react to a simulated alien attack. "The Galactic Council forces won't wait for you to get ready." After the training session, she gathered her tired students around her. "Listen up, 5 years ago the aliens thought we were weak. They thought we would be easy to defeat. They were wrong and we made them run away, but next time they'll be better prepared. They'll be ready for us. So we need to be even more ready for them." One student raised his hand. "Lieutenant, do you think they'll come back?" Patricia nodded seriously. "Yes, they will, but this time we'll be ready." In New York City, the old United Nations building had been rebuilt and expanded. It was now the headquarters of the United Earth government, where representatives from all countries worked together. In the main meeting room, President Nathan Clark stood before the World Council. "5 years ago, we faced the greatest threat in human history," he said, his voice strong and clear. "We were almost conquered by an alien force we knew nothing about. But we fought back. We survived. And in these 5 years, we have done what many thought impossible. We have united our world." The room was quiet as everyone listened. "Today, our defense platforms guard our skies. Our new ships prepare to leave our solar system. Our scientists have learned the secrets of alien technology. But most importantly, we have learned to work together. Earth is stronger now than it has ever been." President Clark showed them images of the defense platforms, the new ships, and the global defense system that now protected Earth. "We are ready not just to defend our world," he continued, "but to reach out to the stars. We will send a message to this Galactic Council. We will let them know that Earth is not a planet to be conquered. We are a planet of strong, smart people who deserve respect." He looked at each council member. "It is time to show the galaxy who we really are. It is time to take our place among the stars." The room erupted in applause and cheers. When the vote came, every single member said yes. It was time for humans to go to the stars and meet the galaxy. The UES Valiant moved silently through space. It was humanity's first real starship and it was on an important mission. Captain Eric Hall sat in the command chair on the bridge, watching the stars on the main screen. "How long until we reach the outpost?" he asked. First Officer Julia Bennett checked the navigation screen. 2 hours, Captain. We're right on schedule." The Valiant and its crew were heading to a space station that belonged to the Galactic Council. It was the closest alien outpost to Earth, orbiting a small red star 30 light-years away. Their mission was simple but important: deliver humanity's message to the galaxy. "All systems working normally," reported Engineer Paul Davis from his station. "The new engines are performing even better than we expected." Hall nodded. This ship was the best that humans could build. It had powerful weapons, strong shields, and engines that could travel faster than light. But most importantly, it carried Earth's message to the stars. "Let's go over the plan one more time," Hall said to his officers. "When we reach the outpost, we'll send our message. We'll identify ourselves as representatives of Earth, and we'll make it clear that we come in peace, but we will not be threatened." Again, Communications Officer Maria Martinez spoke up. "The translation software is ready, Captain. We've loaded all the language data we got from the alien ships 5 years ago. We should be able to understand them and they should be able to understand us." As they got closer to the alien outpost, the crew became more nervous. This was the first time humans had traveled so far from Earth. The first time they were deliberately making contact with aliens. I can see it on the long-range scanners, announced Sensor Officer Will Rogers. It's bigger than we thought. The main screen showed the alien station. It was huge, at least 10 times bigger than the International Space Station back in Earth orbit. It had a central hub with 5 long arms extending outward, like a giant star-shaped city in space. Any signs they've detected us? Hall asked. Yes, sir, Rogers replied. They've started scanning us. Their sensors are very powerful. They definitely know we're here. Hall straightened in his chair. This is it, everyone. Maria, begin our transmission. Martinez pressed several buttons on her console. Transmission ready, sir. Send it, Hall ordered. The message they sent had been carefully prepared back on Earth. It included information about humans, their history, and their home planet. It explained that they knew about the Galactic Council from the ships that had attacked Earth. And it delivered a clear statement. Earth wanted peace and cooperation, but would defend itself with all its strength if threatened again. For several minutes, there was no response. The bridge was quiet as everyone waited. Then Martinez's console beeped. Captain, they're responding. The main screen changed to show an alien face. It had large, almond-shaped eyes that were completely black. Its skin was pale blue and seemed to shimmer slightly. When it spoke, its thin lips barely moved, but the translation software converted its words to English. Greetings, vessel from Earth. I am Station Commander Zarin. Your arrival is unexpected. Hall stood up. I am Captain Eric Hall of the United Earth ship Valiant. We come with a message from our world. The alien tilted its head. We have received your transmission. It is concerning. The attack on your world 5 years ago was not authorized by the full Galactic Council. It was a private action. Hall's eyes narrowed. A private action that nearly resulted in the conquest of our planet. Yet no apology was ever offered. No contact attempted. The faction responsible has been dealt with, Zarin replied. But your species presents a problem for the Council. You defeated a technologically superior force through what our analysts call unpredictable adaptation. This makes many Council members nervous. Security Chief Ryan Cooper, standing behind Hall, whispered, They're afraid of us. Hall understood what was happening. The Galactic Council wasn't just a group of species working together. It was a system of control, and humans didn't fit into their neat, orderly galaxy. I request to meet with you in person, Hall said to Zarin, to discuss these matters directly. There was a pause, as Zarin seemed to consider this. Very well. You and 2 others may board our station. We will prepare a suitable atmosphere for you. When the transmission ended, Cooper immediately objected. Sir, this could be a trap. They could be planning to capture us or worse. Or it could be our first real chance at diplomacy, Martinez countered. We can't pass this up, Hall thought, for a moment. Both of you are right. That's why you're both coming with me. Cooper, you'll be security. Martinez, you'll handle communications. And Dr. Olivia Green will join us as our science officer. Dr. Green had come on the mission because of her knowledge of alien biology and technology. 2 hours later, Hall, Cooper, and Green stood in the Valiant's teleportation room waiting to be sent to the alien station. Nervous? Green asked, adjusting her uniform. Concerned, Cooper replied, checking his sidearm. There's a difference. Hall smiled slightly. We're making history today. The first humans to set foot on an alien station. Let's make it count. The teleportation beam activated, surrounding them with bright light. When the light faded, they were standing in a large circular room on the alien station. The walls were a strange shimmering material that seemed almost alive. 3 aliens waited for them. Zarin stood in the middle, with 2 others behind him. They were tall and thin, with the same blue skin and black eyes. Welcome to Outpost Zeta 9, Zarin said through a small device that translated his words. You are the first humans to visit a council facility. Hall stepped forward. We appreciate your willingness to meet with us. Your message was quite direct, Zarin said. Many in the council found it disturbing. It was honest, Hall replied. Earth has no interest in conflict. But we will not be threatened or controlled. Zaren's skin changed color slightly, shifting to a darker blue. The Council has maintained peace in this sector of the galaxy for 50,000 years. We have rules, protocols. New species are carefully guided into the galactic community. Guided or controlled? Green asked quietly. Zaren looked at her. There is order to the universe, human. Your species seems to create disorder. Hall understood then. It wasn't just about territory or resources. It was about a way of life. The Council wanted predictability. Humans were unpredictable. Then let me be clear, Hall said. We have no interest in disrupting your council, but we will not be contained. Earth is our home and our solar system is our backyard. We're here to stay. Zaren studied him for a long moment. Then he held out a small crystal. Some members of the council wish to meet with your leaders. This contains coordinates to the council homeworld. Your presence has been requested. Hall took the crystal. It could be a genuine invitation or it could be a trap. Either way, it was the next step for humanity's journey into the stars. We'll be there, he promised. The journey to the Galactic Council homeworld took 3 weeks. The UES Valiant was joined by its sister ships, the UES Intrepid and UES Dauntless. Together, they formed Earth's first diplomatic fleet. On board the Valiant was not just Captain Hall and his crew, but also President Nathan Clark and a small team of Earth's top diplomats. I've never seen anything like it, First Officer Julia Bennett said as they approached their destination. Everyone on the bridge stared at the main screen, in amazement. The Galactic Council homeworld wasn't a planet. It was a Dyson sphere, a massive structure built around a star to capture all of its energy. It was so big that billions of beings could live on its inner surface. Our sensors are picking up thousands of ships, reported Sensor Officer Will Rogers. And the sphere itself is generating more power than all of Earth combined. President Clark stood beside Captain Hall, his face serious. This is what we're up against, a civilization that can build something like this. But they still fear us, Hall reminded him. That gives us an advantage. As the Earth ships approached, they were directed to a docking area large enough to hold 100 ships their size. Inside, representatives from the Galactic Council were waiting for them. The main council chamber was enormous. The ceiling was so high that clouds had formed near the top. Around a circular table sat 37 different alien beings, each representing a different species in the council. President Clark and Captain Hall walked to the center of the room. The other Earth delegates stood behind them. The oldest and most respected member of the council, known as the Elder, spoke first. Its species was so ancient that it barely looked like a living thing anymore. It was more like a small, floating ball of light. Humans of Earth? The Elder's voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. You have been brought here to discuss your place in the galactic community. President Clark stepped forward. We come neither as conquerors nor as servants. We come as equals seeking our rightful place among the stars. A low murmur spread through the chamber as the various species discussed this statement among themselves. Your kind advances too quickly, the Elder continued. You develop too unpredictably. The balance of power that has kept peace for millennia could be disrupted by your presence. Change is part of life, Clark replied calmly, even in a galaxy as old as this one. From the Valiant, orbiting the Dyson sphere, Dr. Sam Baker was monitoring the biological signs of the council members. He had developed special sensors based on alien technology they had studied. Captain Hall, he communicated through a secure channel. I'm detecting interesting reactions. 7 of the representatives are showing biological signs that match what we would call fear in humans, but 3 others are showing responses that might be hope. Hall received this information through a small device in his ear. He scanned the room, trying to identify which species might be afraid and which might be hopeful. This could be useful. The Elder called for order. We propose a compromise. Humanity may keep its independence, but must remain within its own solar system for 500 years, a probationary period to ensure you can be trusted. Clark and Hall exchanged glances. They had expected something like this, but it was not acceptable. We respectfully decline, Clark said firmly. We will explore the stars at our own pace. We will trade, learn, and grow, and we will defend any attempt to restrict us with every means at our disposal. He activated a small device he had brought. It projected a hologram showing Earth's defense network, the fleet they had built, and the technologies they had developed. Some were based on alien designs, others were unique human inventions. This is not a threat, Clark explained. This is simply who we are. We went from horse-drawn carriages to walking on our moon in less than a century. We unified our planet. After the alien attack 5 years ago, we built this fleet and came here in just 5 years. This is what humans do. We adapt. We overcome. We explore. Lieutenant Peter Woods, on the bridge of the UES Intrepid, suddenly noticed something on his tactical display. Captain, several council ships are powering up their weapons, he reported to his captain, who immediately alerted Hall. Hall stepped forward, standing next to President Clark. Before anyone makes a decision they might regret, you should know this. Earth has prepared for every possibility. If our fleet doesn't return home safely, automated systems will consider it an act of war. He let that sink in before continuing. The coordinates of all 37 homeworlds are already in our databases. We don't want conflict, but we are prepared for it. The council chamber erupted in angry shouts and worried discussions. But then a new voice spoke up. It came from one of the aliens that Dr. Baker had identified as showing signs of hope. A small, four-armed being with green skin. Perhaps there is another way, the alien said. The Accord of Mutual Recognition has provisions for emerging civilizations, with unique development patterns. The elder raised its glowing form and the room fell silent. Explain, Representative Krell. Humans have shown remarkable abilities, Krell said. Instead of trying to contain them, perhaps we should use these abilities. The outer sectors have many developing worlds that need protection from those who would exploit them. Worlds too primitive for council membership, but too resource-rich to remain undefended. The elder seemed to consider this. You suggest making them guardians instead of prisoners? Exactly. Krell nodded. Let them patrol the borders. Let them protect the younger species. It would serve the Council's interests while respecting their need for movement. More discussion followed. Hall whispered to Clark, "They're looking for a way to save face while giving us what we want." Finally, the elder spoke again. Humanity will be recognized as sovereign and unrestricted under one condition. You will serve as protectors of developing worlds in your sector. Systems that are not yet ready for council membership but which need defense. Clark smiled slightly. Guardians rather than prisoners, we accept. As the Earth fleet prepared to return home, Communications Officer Maria Martinez on the Valiant began receiving unusual transmissions. "Sir," she told Hall, "we're getting messages from at least 12 different worlds. They're contacting us privately, outside official council channels." "What do they want?" Hall asked. "To establish relations with humans," Martinez explained. "Some of them sound excited about us, like they've been waiting for someone to challenge the council's authority." Hall watched the Dyson sphere on the view screen as their ships moved away. "It seems we've done more than secure our own freedom. We've changed the balance of power in the galaxy." He turned to his crew. "Send a message to Earth. The galaxy knows. We're here now. We're armed and ready. And we come in peace, unless provoked." As the Earth ships jumped to faster than light speed, they left behind a galaxy forever changed by humanity's arrival on the cosmic stage. The message was clear. Humans were here to stay and the stars would never be the same again.